Today I'm going to look at posture along with a couple of other beginner tips. So the first little tip, fingernails. So you want to keep your fingernails really nice and short. You see there on my left hand, my playing hand, virtually no nail, lots of the meaty part of the tip of the finger is exposed. So can't stress enough, really nice short fingernails. By keeping those fingernails really nice and short, we're going to get a much better contact with the string. When the nail gets a bit longer, as you press down on the string, the long nail is actually going to press through and it's going to catch the wood of the fretboard. And if your nails are a bit too long, it can actually stop you getting enough pressure on a note. It can lead to it getting fret buzz and that type of thing. So can't stress it enough, really nice short fingernails. So posture, so what do we actually mean by posture? In the sense I'm talking about today, we're basically referring to what, the way that we carry ourselves. So if we've got good posture, just kind of hold ourselves like this. Bad posture, we're going to be kind of slouched and like this. Generally it's for, someone with bad posture, more likely to get aches and pains, that kind of thing, from slouching, probably going to get a bit of back pain, maybe a bit of pain in the ribs, that type of thing. Whereas someone who carries themselves well, with good posture, it's widely accepted that they're not going to have as many kind of physical little niggles and pains. For guitar playing, number one, we want to be nice and comfortable. You're going to spend a lot of time playing your guitar, so if we're kind of slouched and getting aches and pains and stuff, it's not going to make it a very nice experience. So we want to be pretty much nice and relaxed, nice and comfortable. But that said, we do need to avoid some common errors that people make. So number one, don't slouch. You don't want to kind of be bent over like this and like I used to be at school, kind of like this. You want to sit up nice and straight. Get like I've kind of got in here. I've got like a dining room chair, something you can sit up nice and straight in, or an office chair that's not got arms on it. The next thing, your shoulders want to be nice and parallel. You don't want to be kind of either way like that. Another really important one is, and I'm talking about sort of right-handed players here. Obviously for left-handed guitarists, you're just going to reverse this, but with your left arm, you never wants to be resting on this left knee. And we'll look at this in a little bit more detail now with a guitar. The main point is to just keep everything nice and relaxed. Everything kind of works more efficiently if you all your tendons and joints and stuff are nice and relaxed. So the first thing that I've done is I've switched onto one of these dining room chairs. So in this I can get my back pressed into the backrest on the chair, get my feet nice and flat on the floor. You can see my shoulders nice and parallel. I'm not kind of relaxed like this, but I'm sat up nice and straight and everything nice and relaxed. So if we pick up the acoustic guitar, so I want to hold this on my right leg. So bear in mind we're looking at more of a popular guitar playing style. If we were doing classical, things would be a little bit different, but it'll sort of be on the scope of this video. So I'm holding the guitar, pulling it nice and tight into my stomach. It really doesn't want to be like that. There's a tendency for beginners to want to do this so that they can kind of see where they're putting their fingers. Resist that temptation for now. So as you can see, while I'm holding the guitar, even though that this arm is having to rest on the side of the guitar, my shoulders still nice and parallel. I'm not kind of doing this. This is probably one of the biggest posture mistakes that we see to begin with, where especially with acoustic guitars, you know, quite big and bulky. This arm's kind of resting up here, forces people into this kind of movement. This arm starts to rest on this leg straight away. It's a hindrance. So you want everything set up nice and straight. Again, shoulders parallel. Your left elbow doesn't want to be kind of out here, it doesn't want to be tucked right in. It just wants to hang naturally, nice and relaxed. Next thing that I like to get people to do is imagine that this thumb on your left hand is a bit like a, you know, it's like a hook. So if you kind of make that into that hook shape, rest it there, and then just relax everything with that, you know, from your left shoulder, your left forearm, your wrist, just relax everything. So your right arm is going to rest largely on this side of the guitar. And this is a fairly bulky guitar, a dreadnought shape. Quite a big obstacle to get round. So you're going to, again, keeping all this nice and relaxed, just going to rest there lightly. And as you can see, your arm is going to hang down here. So there now I'm in a reasonably good position to start putting my fingers on the strings, start strumming with this hand. Okay, so we've looked at left hand, right hand in a bit more detail. What you'll probably find is that this lesson, if you've made it this far, you're probably thinking, oh, it's a bit boring, you know, I know how to hold a guitar. What I would say is if you're kind of moving on and you're working on chords, particularly when you get to the stage where you're trying to change between C, G and D, a big stumbling block for a lot of people, maybe revisit this video, just have a quick look through, are my fingernails nice and short, are my shoulders are they kind of out of parallel, am I sitting up nice and straight, am I holding my wrist correctly? It's all these little things that when we put them together, they make a big difference in your guitar playing. So everything works better when you're nice and relaxed, especially with your wrists. If they're cramped up like this, it's not going to work as efficiently.